Chapter 3 The Centaur's Prophecy. Olvin and Lana entered the throne room, where their father and the Centaur were waiting for them. King Jar glanced nervously at them, looking as if he could not wait any longer to hear the tidings their visitor brought. His younger brother, Prince Jarin, waited at his right side. He looked grim, no doubt sure that whatever news the Centaur brought could not be good. The fair prince felt his heart pounding as he made eye contact with the Centaur. The creature looked so grave, sad, and noble. He stopped in front of the throne and bowed low to his father, stealing a sideways glance at their visitor again.
"My son, this is Glamstun the Centaur. He has requested that your presence be among us."
King Jar looked anxiously at the half-man, half-horse. Olvin bowed to Glamstun.
"It is an honor and a pleasure, good sir. I hope your journey was met with no misfortune."
The Centaur stiffly bowed his head.
"I had a pleasant journey, sire. I have not been in Archenland since I was a lad, and I see that the countryside is even more beautiful than I remember."
"I am pleased,"
Olvin said, wishing they could get the formality over with and on to the more pressing business of why he was here.
"I do hope you enjoy your stay."
"I will not be staying long,"
Glamstun replied. He turned to the king, but also kept an eye on Olvin, so he knew that he was included in the conversation.
"Your Majesty, as you know, it is my sacred duty directed by Aslan himself to watch the stars. Lately, the stars have been singing of the giant Pire."
"Yes, we know of the giant.
Prince Jarin interrupted.
He has been ransacking the nearby villages. I had recently sent men to stop him, but before they could reach him, they were informed the giant had last been seen going back into Narnia."
"Your resources are faulty,"
stated Glamstun.
"The stars have told me that he is heading for the desert pass near the Winding Arrow River to make his way to Tashban."
"That's good.
Olvin said.
The Calormens will handle him."
He noticed everyone staring at him in disbelief, even his sister Lana. The young man wondered what he had said wrong.
"Are you that much of a coward?"
Lana sputtered.
"Sometimes I am ashamed to call you brother."
"Peace!"
King Jar held up his hand.
Olvin spoke out of ignorance. My son, if the learned Glamstun is right, and the giant is heading for Tashban, that could mean the end of our understanding with Calormen. They will see it as an act of war, since there are no giants in Calormen. Giants usually stay to themselves in the north.
Olvin felt himself flush to his hairline.
"Oh,
He said in a small voice.
then I suggest he be stopped before he reaches Tashban."
Lana muttered something that he could not quite catch. He knew from her expression it wasn't a compliment.
"That is why I'm here, sire.
Glamstun said.
I have seen, by the stars, which man will be victorious in defeating giant Pire. According to the stars, only one can defeat him."
Who?
King Jar asked.
"I will richly reward the man who slays this fiend."
"I'll do it, father.
Lana said excitedly.
Please let me do it."
Glamstun has not yet said whom the stars foretold would be victorious.
The king frowned. He turned to the Centaur.
Pray tell us, Glamstun, who is this man that will save us from a war with Calormen?
Glamstun looked at the young man.
"It is your son, sire, Prince Olvin."
Silence hung in the air, only to be broken by Prince Jarin, who laughed, then nearly choked, trying to stop.
"Olvin?"
Lana said incredulously. None was more surprised than the young prince himself. He stared in shock at the Centaur, and shook his head vigorously.
"My dear friend, I am afraid you are sadly mistaken. The stars could not have foretold that it is I who would defeat giant Pire. As you can plainly see from the reactions of my family, I am the worst choice possible."
"Nonetheless, it is you who will prevent war between the North and Calormen,"
Glamstun countered.
"The stars do not lie. Not only Archenland will suffer Calormen's wrath, sire. Narnia will too, because we will come to your aid. Would it not be better to slay the giant now and save countless lives?"
"Yes, of course, but someone who has more experience in these matters should go."
Glamstun is right, Olvin.
King Jar stood and clapped his hand on his son's shoulder solemnly.
It is you who must do this.
Olvin sighed, knowing he could never talk him out of it. This is what his father had always wanted to see, his son becoming a hero.
Yes, father. I will take with me 10 of our strongest and quickest men, and—
You may take however many men you wish, my prince.
Glamstun interrupted.
But it is you who must fight the giant alone, or else all will be lost.
Fight the giant by myself?
Olvin was taken aback.
It will take more than one man to bring him down.
The stars have said—
Hang the stars! One man cannot fight a giant alone.
He turned to his sister.
Lana, talk reason to this council. You know more of giants than I do.
Yes, brother, I do know of giants, but I also know a centaur is never wrong in his prediction.
Lana smiled at him.
You will fight the giant by yourself, and win.
Olvin wondered if she had taken leave of her senses.
Lana would be a better victor than I.
He continued to argue.
Father, please.
He looked at King Jar, and knew he would not reach an agreement with him, so he turned to his uncle.
Uncle Jarin, you laughed at the idea. Tell them this is madness.
Prince Jarin shook his head.
I'm sorry, Olvin, but your sister is right. Centaurs are never wrong with their prophecies. I should never have laughed at you.
Olvin sighed and turned to the centaur.
How will I defeat the giant?
That I do not know.
Glamstun replied gravely.
The stars only tell me that you will be able to defeat the giant.
Olvin very much doubted that, but he didn't see as how he had much of a choice.
You say Giant Pire is headed for Tashban? I guess that doesn't leave me much time. In the morning I will prepare to depart.
He bowed to the king and the centaur before taking his leave of the hall. As he walked back to his room, he couldn't help wondering how in the name of Aslan he would defeat a giant where others had failed. Lana caught up with him in the corridor outside the throne room.
Cheer up, brother. You look as if you're going to burn your own shroud.
Perhaps I am.
He tried to say it jokingly, but his voice caught.
Why couldn't you have been the oldest and a boy?
He asked her. Lana smirked.
I've often wondered that myself. You are so content with your lot in life, it is rather sickening at times.
Olvin tugged on her long braid.
And you will be the death of one of us with your high spirit.
They lapsed into silence as both thought of the centaur's prophecy.
I will go with you,
Lana said.
You cannot. The centaur said only I could defeat the giant.
True.
Lana nodded.
However, he said you could take as many men as you want with you as companions. I will be your companion.
Olvin was secretly glad his sister would be going with him. He did not want to admit that her courage would help him in battle, as he lacked both courage and bravery. Not for the last time did he wonder if the centaur had read the stars wrong. They reached his room, and he smiled at his sister.
Good night, Lana. May Aslan watch over us tomorrow.
He will,
Lana assured him.
He always helps those who need his help.
That didn't sound very helpful, but he nodded and softly closed the door. When he heard Lana walk away, he sank to the floor. How did this happen? The prince sat with his back to the door all night, worrying about the next day and how he would slay the giant.